Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1088. Wow. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, at the last place on earth. Today it's the return of the much-loved news segment. Oh my gosh, we haven't done a news segment in a long time, even though we're number 8 on the news charts on Mixcloud.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
But it's the return of the Mikelopedia Insanica. Plus, we will hear from Chely Shoehart,
Mike's Daily Podcast,
Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the Engineer. So today's episode is 1088. So I thought back in time to 1988, where I started living at my college, and that was great. UCSB, UC Santa Barbara, and not a moment too late because it was all about hairspray.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Lots of women were hairspraying up their hair, and that was wonderful to see hairsprayed hair.
Mike's
every freaking
Daily
where
Podcast.
And that was a fun time too.
Yeah!
Because that's when men were allowed to wear pink. You could wear like a really bright pink and still be considered manly because of Crockett on the show Miami Vice. He wore pink, so it was okay. And you wear the crazy sports blazers things and your boat shoes. It was fun times. 1988 was also the year of Whitesnake. They started getting popular. And Prince was still popular. He was having hits after Purple Rain, after that album. That was Sign of the Times. And You Got the Look with him and Sheena Easton. Not to be confused with Sheila E., who was another person that, well, he produced her stuff. So did you like that little look back on the 80s? I think even Cyndi Lauper still had some hits. No, it was all about Madonna, wasn't it? A lot of Madonna stuff at that point in 1988. The group Cutting Crew, that was more 87. Stuff happened in 88. So millennials aren't eating cereal. I'll let that digest, because apparently it is not digesting in millennials. Look who just walked in.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, Gift Shop Supervisor. Oh my god, cereal's like gross.
It can be good for you, but really there's no good cereal, actually, now that I think of it. All cereal has a ton of sugar in it. And it's like you're dosing yourself with a gobload of sugar, and then you have to go on with your day and hopefully not get diabetes.
Mike Matthews, what about granola? I've often wondered if I should eat granola. Because granola's supposed to be good for you and everything.
Yeah, but they put a lot of sugar in that.
Not if they put honey.
I just cut out cereal altogether. I figure eat the best stuff you can in the morning. I grab an apple. I make my own weird flaxseed morning pastry contraption. It's like a cookie with flaxseed. Look who else just walked in the nick of time as I was discussing flaxseed. Oh, Mike, it's Floyd the Floorman! And this is John Deere the Engineer. Mike, flaxseed has omega-3s in it. You're just attacking that microphone, aren't you? I am slightly attacking this microphone. I don't speak very loudly, so this is about as loud as I get. Oh, yeah, well, so flaxseed has omega-3s and it's good for... I take a daily tablet pill, flaxseed so scary, that is made of flaxseed, the flaxseed oil. And that's got omega-3. So, I don't know. I'm not getting any money from flaxseed companies. Something I was told. Apparently, this stuff helps you live. So why isn't there more flaxseed, like, all over the place? I should be growing it in my backyard. What the heck? So yesterday's show, at the beginning of it, I said happy birthday out to Robert Stone. Robert Stone, I met through my ex-brother-in-law, Jesse. Jesse said he was dating this girl, not the current girl he's dating. She's awesome. It's Jenny. Thank you. I always want to say Kelly, but it's Jenny. Jenny and Jesse. That has nice alliteration. Anyway, Jesse's last girlfriend, who I never met, but I met her girlfriend's boyfriend. Okay, and this guy, all right, so Jesse, you have to imagine, is a super tall kid, late 20s, early 30s. Good looking guy, Jesse. And then this other guy, he's also tall and good looking guy, right? And the two, so Jesse says, yeah, we're going to meet up with this friend of a friend. And so, yeah, this guy. I'm like, oh, great. Okay. So I meet, and instantly you can feel the tension between Jesse and this guy. I forget his name. Let's just call him Clyde, because I that's my favorite name for someone that I don't know their name. So Jesse and Clyde are having like a total pissing match the whole night. It's like when Jesse says something like, yeah, I had this beer once. It's like one of a kind beer. You can only get it. It's in Oregon and Idaho, and it's made out of potatoes. It's the best beer you can make. And then Clyde would go, yeah, well, I had this beer. It was from the Seattle area, which is better than Oregon, and that's got this beer. It's completely made out of flaxseed. And just go back and forth and back and forth. We end up in a bar. Yeah, there was a lot of drinking that night. I think I stayed the night at Jesse's. He lives in Palo Alto, which was good because that would have been a little reckless trying to get back to Podcaster Valley. And illegal. So, to say that this little pissing match went on all night was hilarious. These two guys, taller than me, and I'm 6'1". And these guys are way taller than that. And they're young. And I'm here in my late 40s going, ha ha ha, I remember when I cared about that they care about, and I don't care anymore about that stuff. I'm a foodie. Not really, no. They're all about, you gotta go eat at these places where you gotta pay a lot of money. And that means that the food is better. It's sort of like if you were to tag along with Anthony Bourdain, but have to pay for everything Anthony Bourdain ate. That would kind of suck, wouldn't it? Because he eats everything that's so freaking ridiculously expensive. That's kind of what it's like going out with Jesse and Clyde. So Richard Stone is a friend of Clyde's. That's how I know Richard Stone. And Richard Stone, he's originally from Kentucky. And the whole night, I think we were kind of like looking at this kind of laughing. I don't know if we never discussed it, but I felt I enjoyed talking to Richard Stone all evening. Very nice guy, and he had done a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting things. Young kid, had done a bunch of stuff. So Robert Stone, as we witnessed the pissing match going on all night. We have a show on the Christian station that I work for. It's called Truth for Life. And if you support the show, because these shows are, church-based, and you have to support the church in order for them to keep, like, the radio shows going, etc. If you are a supporter of the show, you are known as a truth partner. And I thought about the word truth partner. I feel like I am a truth partner. I believe in partnering up with the truth. I hate lies. I hated everything that Ted Cruz had to say because it was all a lie. It was all like, I'm trying to be president. But Mike, all politicians are doing that. Yeah, but some are have a little bit more finesse. Ted Cruz was just blatant. I'm going to kowtow to every Christian conservative, so I'm going to get to kowtow to them and get into the White House. Ugh, I hope that guy never runs for president again. It's just, ugh. Lady Katie's going to be on the show. Well, I'm going to interview her today, but she'll be on a future episode. I'm excited about that. Today's show, though, has a conservative guy that I am friends with named Greg. And Greg is an interesting guy because he totally hates Hillary, doesn't trust her, always shows me all these things about Hillary that are like damning evidence about Benghazi, about the emails, etc. And he can't wait till she's thrown in jail. So it'll be interesting because we're going to have him on the show, and he's going to tell you something that you probably would go, wait a minute, that doesn't fit with the MO of Greg. It's an interesting piece of information. We'll get to that after, and we'll also talk with Kevin, because it'll be part of Addendum with Kevin, which we haven't done in a long time. So I'm looking forward to that. That's coming up right after the segment, the Mikelopedia Insanica. So if you want to help out this show, mikesdailypodcast.com is where to go, and click on that Amazon link that you see there on the page. If you're looking on your cell phone and on your mobile device, as they call it, the Truth Partner mobile device, if you go scroll all the way down to the bottom of the screen there, you'll find it. And just click on that when you're going to buy something on Amazon, and that helps us out. And you don't change the way you shop, and it's not like you're taking any... Unfortunately, it doesn't take any money off. It doesn't reduce the price of whatever it is you're buying on Amazon. So you're still going to have to pay whatever it is you were going to pay for that thing you were buying on Amazon. That shirt. Is that what people buy on Amazon? Shirts? I was going to buy a microphone on Amazon the other day. Isn't that exciting? Then there's also, if you want to help us out through the PayPal, you'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters. And you'll also feel good. Then there is also links to all the places you can listen to the show. There's the past podcast picture gallery. We can see some of the past podcasts picture. Speaking of the podcast picture.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Yes, the podcast picture today is of the what is it called? Lake Chabot in Podcastro Valley. Looking at Lake Chabot from the north end, looking south. I had never been to this area. You kind of gotta walk on a trail for a little bit to get to this spot, but it's a very beautiful spot. Not so many people. There's the whole west side of Lake Chabot, and the south side tend to have a bunch of people because there's a paved path and people park their cars and walk along there, and they're all in their healthy outfits, their athletic leisure wear, whatever you want to call it. Some of it's awfully tight. And they're walking along and they're working out, and that's what they do there at Lake Chabot. So you can see a picture of that, not the people in the tight athletic leisure wear, but a picture of the beautiful lake there at mikesdailypodcast.com. And now...
the Mikelopedia Insanica.
Well, did you know that Podcastro Valley in Alameda County, which is where Podcastro Valley is found, is currently making a political statement? It is. I didn't know. You know, Podcastro Valley can be kind of conservative in places, but apparently we're making a stand. We're taking a stand against North Carolina. The AC Transit Board, AC stands for Alameda County Transit Board of directors, they voted unanimously last week, this according to the Podcastro Valley Forum, to prohibit the district's employees from participating in the International Bus Rodeo. That's road as in something you drive on. Rodeo, which is slated to begin May 13th in North Carolina. The agency's employees have been past grand champions of the Charlotte competition that recognizes superior abilities of bus drivers, maintenance teams, and supervisors nationwide, and had planned to demonstrate their skills again this year. However, North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory signed controversial legislation last month that both restricted cities within the state from passing non-discrimination laws and blocked, yes, the restroom choice for transgender individuals, making transgender individuals miserable because they've got nowhere to pee. AC officials said the law conflicts with the AC Transit's long-standing commitment of access and inclusion to all members of the community without regard to race, religion, gender, or sexual orientation. And I did not realize AC Transit had that long-standing commitment. But that's awesome. Quote, AC Transit cannot support any government action that effectively reverses civil rights protections for all citizens. Michael Hirsch said that. He's the general manager, who stressed that the decision to prohibit employee travel for the bus rodeo was made with counsel from executive staff, collective bargaining units, and teams that had arduously been preparing for months to compete. But Mike, maybe it's wrong of them to do that because these people were spending a lot of time, hard work, and energy to get ready for the competition. Now they're not going to North Carolina. That's against their rights to show that they're talented at driving buses. The same argument goes, why did Bruce Springsteen not play in North Carolina? I mean, he's a performer. He should just shut up and sing. As I heard one person who I know who is conservative say that. And I said to that person, hey, Bruce Springsteen has always been outspoken. That makes his music great. And that's why people enjoy him, is because he thinks he's got a point of view. He's not just singing pop, trite, pop crap. Well, he did that for a little bit. Dancing in the Dark was not the most profound song on the planet. Although, I like the beginning line. I get up in the evening, and I ain't got nothing to say. Because that's kind of what I do. I get up in the dark. And I'm dancing in the dark now. No, I'm not. I'm here at Cafe Anyway, telling you this story and going off on a tangent. By the way, when I have Haley on, it is Tangent City. And I feel as if I am on a train that's not running on a track, but running on spaghetti. That's going every possible direction. We go all over the place, which makes the show fun. And thank you for listening to the shows that Haley are on. Haley will be back next week sometime, hopefully. AC Transit will continue to maintain zero tolerance of any discriminatory acts and foster the rich diversity of our riders and employees alike, said Michael Hirsch once again. The bus rodeo is sponsored by the American Public Transportation Association, which said in a statement that it had decided to move forward with the event, quote, to support the city of Charlotte, which has long had a track record of creating an environment that not only values diversity, but strongly embraces it. I like Charlotte because its airport has you walk 3,000 miles to get to wherever you need to go instead of having cool little monorail systems like most airports nowadays. But they do have rocking chairs you can sit in to relax. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. You know, they said that about the Dixie Chicks, Shut Up and Sing. In fact, they had a movie named that. And, you know, all about Natalie Maines and what she had to say about George W. Bush back in the 90s. But, Mike, what did she have to say, you're saying? I forgot. That was so long ago. It was over 10 years ago. She just happened to say, you know, we're kind of embarrassed by George W. Bush being from Texas, and that's where we're from. And this was during the beginning of the Iraq War, and people were like, oh my gosh, they talk bad about the president in another country. When, of course, the hypocrisy of that is that everybody on Fox says something bad about Obama every 5 seconds. And yeah, maybe they're not in another country, but, you know, that was a lame thing. And it just showed a lot of people were scared of Natalie Maines because she was a powerful woman but she was powerful at that moment. They had the biggest selling album at the time and were winning Grammys left and right. And there was no sign of them slowing down. And she had a lot to say, and people got frightened by that. Predominantly white men, old white men, got scared by that. I met Natalie Maines, as you can find there on Mike'sDailyPodcast.com under the cubbyhole section. There you can click on that cubbyhole button at the top of the page and scroll down. You'll find an interview. I saved that on cassette. That's why it's part of the cassette cubbyhole section of Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. It was a goofy interview, and I had a lot of fun with them. Okay, and speaking of having a lot of fun, look who we're running into out here.
Addendum with Kevin.
Hey, it's Kevin.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you, Kevin? It's been a long time since we rock and roll.
It was. I have not had too much time for addendums with Kevin's.
Your voice is so soft, and I just want to curl up inside your voice.
Really?
With a little, I want to have Kate Upton over. We'll relax on the bearskin rug in your voice. Does that sound weird?
Play some Ed Sheeran I'll sing Ed Sheeran. How about that? You get Kate Upton over. I'll bring my guitar and sing a couple Ed Sheeran songs.
'Cause honey,
Some 17. That's all I know. I don't know.
I know. I'm just so sick of Ed Sheeran. Is that bad? Did I say something wrong? Did that offend my listener?
Yes, all the 19-year-old girls in your audience are hating you right now.
I'm sorry, 19-year-old girls. Ed Sheeran is a talent. He's the Billy Joel of your era. But still, he's more of the Cat Stevens of your era because he's more guitar-y, more kind of folky, whereas Billy Joel was slamming on his piano going, I don't know why I go to extremes. Do you remember that song?
No.
Sometimes you've got to pace yourself. Oh, Greg is mad.
Uh-oh, hang on.
Are we?
Guess who came to Cafe anyway?
Look, who else is it? Does mic 4 or 5 work?
Hi, Greg. You're coming to hang out at Cafe anyway with us?
We're at Cafe anyway.
Yes, I know.
And not at work.
We were,
and this is where I hear the DJs hang out because there's free food.
Yes, and donuts.
Just like the old days.
Well, let's see. Oh wait, you ate the last donut, Kevin.
Sorry. I had that in a Fiber One for breakfast, and you know how Fiber One moves through you. Lasers don't move that quickly.
It zips right through.
Yes.
I don't have a single mic on Greg, so all we're hearing is but his voice is still so booming.
Yes. The official voice of the Obama campaign.
I don't think that's true.
Unfortunately, it is.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Gosh, I have to.
The stuff you do for money. I was for the original presentation for Obamacare.
No way.
Mm-hmm. I actually cut it at Universal Studios.
Gosh, Greg, I have to interview you one of these days. There's so many stories.
I usually forget about those days.
This is the best addendum we've ever done.
We're doing addendum with Kevin.
Oh.
So
what are we going to call this one?
Addendum with Greg.
Don't say Greg and Kevin. That's the most unimaginative name you could have ever come up with. You're a radio
I'm
dude.
Batman.
Oh, wow.
Addendum with Batman. Perfect.
Christian Bale was just here.
Yeah.
Now there'd be more cuss words if he was here.
Then I have to bleep and everything. But
you remember that last rant, didn't you? Did you ever hear that rant?
No, with
Christian Bale freaking out.
Oh,
You're in my shadow. Get out of my shadow.
That's right. Because we do that in radio when people get in our light. No, wait, we don't care about light here in radio.
No. Radio people look better in the dark.
That's why I have a face for radio.
Did you ever work at a station where you had candles lit? Like in the 60s, you know, where they lit candles and
beautiful music for beautiful people. FM 104.
Where was that?
San Diego.
Oh, I remember walking into a studio once and this girl had lit all these candles. She was a female DJ. And she had all the I'm like, what are you doing? Well, I need some music to get used to Michael Bolton and playing Michael Bolton 7 times in a row. So
what?
Is mellow music.
He is? Dang, I didn't know Soul Survivor was mellow.
Oh, that was a great song. Kevin, you don't know Soul Survivor, do you?
I don't.
Soul Provider.
No
Soul Provider.
There you go. Yeah.
He was like the Ed Sheeran of the 90s, early 90s, I guess.
I'll have to take your word for that.
He was the younger person's Julio Iglesias.
No, that makes sense. Okay, I can deal with that now.
Oh.
We're on the same page.
What happened to Julio? Oh.
He ran into too many of the girls that he loved before.
Yeah. That's what was...
When they threw him out the door.
Oh. Willie... Do you think Willie was really a ladies' man? Willie Nelson?
No.
No?
No.